Hey everyone, welcome back to Building Wealth Through Home Ownership. I'm Liz Holterhouse, OBX for Sale Real Estate Group, powered by Keller Williams, your trusted real estate expert in the Outer Banks and Northeastern North Carolina. In today's episode, I'm going to walk you through how to make a winning offer on a home. Whether you're in a competitive market or negotiating with a seller, these strategies will help you stand out and increase your chance of getting your dream home. Submitting an offer isn't just about throwing out a number, it's about strategy. And here are the key steps to making an offer that sellers will seriously consider. We've talked about this many times in the last previous episodes, but step one is to get pre-approved. Before you even think about making an offer, you should already have a pre-approval letter from a lender. And why is this important? We've gone over this, but let's review this again. It shows the seller that you're financially qualified. It strengthens your offer, making you stand out against buyers who haven't secured financing yet. And it gives you a clear budget so you know what you can afford. If you haven't gotten pre-approved yet, check out episode 5 for tips on smart financial moves before buying a home. So step 2, understand market conditions. Knowing whether you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market will shape your offer strategy. In a seller's market, there is high demand for homes. There's usually a shortage of homes for sale, and you may need to offer above the asking price or include stronger terms. In a buyer's market, you may have more room to negotiate and ask for seller concessions. And seller concessions would be your closing costs, for instance. And you have to really rely on your experienced agent to be able to dive into the stats of just even the micro market of where you're looking. So you can't say the Outer Banks is in a seller's market or the Outer Banks is in a buyer's market, because it can vary from community to community. It really depends on how many homes are in that community listed for sale and how many buyers want to be in that community. So we could see a house in one community come on the market, go under contract immediately with multiple offers and go above list price, where in another community there might be 5 homes for sale and they all may sit there for 30 or 40 days before they go under contract. So knowing how to dig deep into the stats of micro communities is really important in strategizing for writing an offer. Step 3 is to determine a competitive offer price. Now comes the big question, and I hear this a lot: how much should you offer? What we're going to do is we're going to look at the comparable comps. Those are the sales that have taken place in the recent past. And an appraiser can go back up to a year. So we're going to look at what has happened in the last 6-8 months, maybe as far back as 12 months, and see what the pattern is. I will often look back and see what has sold most recently in the last month, 30, 60, 90 days, but also look all the way back to a year, because I want to see what the trend is. If there's a trend, is it trending up? Is the community appreciating? Or is it starting to trend down and level off in price? And we want to know those things. So we're going to look at comparable sales in the neighborhood to see what similar homes have sold for. We're also going to consider how long the home has been on the market. If a home has been on the market 180 days, it has been rejected by the buyers for some reason. Either there are no buyers, or it's price versus location, or price versus value. And we really want to dig into that. It may not be a home that you like at X price, but if we look at the comps and we look at the condition of the homes that sold versus the conditions of the home we're looking at, and formulate a really good argument as to why it should be this price versus what they're asking for, and we're able to put that argument together on paper, we very well may be the prevailing offer at the lesser price. And that's why it is very important to work with somebody who is experienced and knows how to look at the market and where you want to consider purchasing. So considering how long the home has been on the market is important. Work with your agent, that's me, to determine a strong, fair offer that aligns with the market trends and your needs. So, for instance, if you know it's a pretty strong market and it's priced fairly and it's been on the market maybe 25 days and 35 is the normal days on market, and this is the home that you want, and you need $5,000 in closing costs, and you're going to want to go in super strong, if not at full price, in order to get that $5,000 in closing costs paid on your behalf by that seller. You can't really double dip on all sides. So if you need cash from the seller, your offer could be a little bit stronger on price in order to get to where you need to be as a buyer. Step 4 is strengthen your offer with terms and conditions. Price is not the only thing that a seller is going to look at. They are also going to consider the terms of your offer. And here are some ways to make your offer stand out. A higher earnest money deposit. This just shows the seller you're serious. And earnest money is protected during due diligence. So if you go under contract and you put down a $5,000 earnest money deposit, and you have a home inspection and you decide there's just too much that needs to be done to this home and you want to cancel, you get your earnest money deposit back if you cancel during due diligence. So that due diligence deadline is very, very important with a higher earnest money deposit. And that is my job, to never let you go past due diligence without having a conversation. Are you good with everything? We're going into a time period now where our earnest money is going to become hard. And if you cancel, you're not going to get it back. Flexible closing timeline. So if a seller has a specific timing need, accommodating them works in your favor. So I recently wrote an offer for a super special client who is my son buying his first home. And we asked the sellers, what do you need? They were elderly. They had been in this home for quite some time. It was during the Christmas holiday when we wrote the offer. And we said, when do you want to close? Well, they did not want to close until the end of February for their purposes. So we gave them that longer closing time period, and now we're getting ready to close towards the end of this month. So that's just a way, reaching out and having a conversation with the listing agent. This is my job, and just saying, what terms is a seller looking for? What is their timing needs? How can we write an offer that is going to be stronger for their needs? And it's just a conversation that I have with them, and then I'll bring that information back to you. Fewer contingencies. While inspections and financing contingencies are crucial, waiving minor ones can make your offer more appealing. Now, the way our contract is written, we don't really have minor contingencies that we can waive, because our contract is written to be really transparent and understandable for the buyer and the seller. And you're going to have a due diligence period, and all your contingencies are taken by that due diligence period. Now, what you can do is have a shorter due diligence period. If we think we can get loan approval and our inspections done in 25 days, then we can do a 25-day due diligence period. I can easily get home inspections and stuff done typically in 2 weeks. We could do a due diligence period for inspections that last 2 weeks, and then a due diligence for appraisal and loan approval for 30 days. And it just makes it a little bit stronger of an offer. So there are still some things that we can do without waiving minor conditions, because we don't have the ability to really do that in the North Carolina contract. Step number 5 is be prepared for a counter offer. So even if you make a strong offer, the seller may come back with a counter offer. And here's how we're going to handle it. But first, let me say that a seller can counter anything on the contract, and oftentimes they will. And if we didn't have that conversation up front about what the seller needs, or maybe we did and we had it with the listing agent and the listing agent told us what they thought the seller needed. But now maybe the seller situation has changed and they don't want to move for 45 days. They can counter any of the terms of the contract. So even with a strong offer, we may get a slight counter offer. So what we want to remember when we get that counter offer back is we want to stay within our budget. We do not want to get caught up in a bidding war that stretches your finances too thin. And I will be the first person to tell you it's time to walk away. Is just let it go, or stay strong. Stay at at your original purchase price. And I've won bidding wars that way by telling you not to leave, but to stay. And then the other parties in the bidding war left because they didn't feel comfortable going up. So sometimes just staying strong and saying this is the highest price I'm willing to pay is the strategy that we need to do. And I'll help you walk through all of that. But if I feel like it's in your best interest to walk away, I'm going to tell you. I think there's something better out there on the horizon for you. Don't get wrapped up in stretching your finances too thin, even if this is your top end. But you've told me all along, this is your comfort zone. I'm going to remind you of that. In the end, the decision is always yours. You're going to evaluate what parts of the counteroffer you can accept. So if the counteroffer includes a change in price and a change in due diligence fee and a change in something else, we need to sit down and talk about all three of those changes, how they affect you, whether or not you're willing to accept them, and if not, what are you willing to accept? And then we can make a counteroffer back to them. So you're going to work closely with your agent, hopefully that's me, to negotiate the best deal possible for you. But we also need it to be a win-win situation where the seller is on board with that. Step 6 is finalizing the deal. Once your offer is accepted, congratulations. But this is when the work really begins. We're going to get to work scheduling inspections to ensure that there's no major issues. We're going to go through our compliance. We're going to collect earnest money. We're going to collect due diligence. So there's going to be a fast and furious couple days of emails coming across your desk and telling you all the things that we're doing. At any time during that process, if you're confused or overwhelmed or frustrated because you're not understanding what's going on, you don't remember what this means, just reach out to me and talk to myself or my assistant, and we'll let you know what's going on. We have checklists that we check off and let you know everything we've done on your behalf. And we have emails that we send out letting you know the next steps that are coming up. But if this still is not enough, all you have to do is say, hey, time out. I need to talk to you. I need to figure out what's going on. I need to understand what is happening, because a lot happens fast in real estate. The world moves pretty quickly. So we're going to schedule inspections, secure financial mortgage approval with your lender, and we're going to start preparing for closing day. So each step of the way, we're under contract and we're in due diligence, and this is where we get all of our inspections done. This is where the appraisal is done. We finalize any of the lender's contingencies to get what's called a clear to close. At clear to close, there's still work to be done. We're finalizing our insurance, who you want to use. We're making sure all of the invoices and everything have been sent into the closing attorney. And the lender is going to request the title from the closing attorney and the initial closing disclosure. And this is where all the money breaks down. They're going to review it. They're going to circulate it to all of us to review during this time period. Make sure everything is on there. Make sure everything is accurate. Make sure you're getting credit for any negotiated credits, things like that. And once that's approved, then we move to the closing table. Now, closing can happen in person, or if you're moving from another area or you're not able to be personally at closing on closing day, you can also close by mail. So we have a way to do it for all needs. But typically on closing day, you're going to meet with the attorney for about an hour. If you don't close by mail, sign all the paperwork. He is then going to process everything, and he's going to record the deed and the mortgage, which is the lien on the property. And once that is done, you are then the owner. Congratulations. And my favorite part is handing you the keys at that point in time. By following these steps, you will be well prepared to make a strong competitive offer that increases your chances of landing your dream home. Coming up next in episode 7, what happens after your offer is accepted? In the next episode, we'll dive into what happens after your offer is accepted, from the home inspection to finalizing financing. Be sure to tune in. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And please share this episode and this series with anyone that you think would benefit from this series. And if you need any help making an offer, you have any questions, or you want to have a consult with me about how to get started on your journey, my contact information is in the description below. Just reach out to me by text, email, phone call. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.